every precaution that they can to prosecute the war and prevent civilian casualties.
General James Cartwright, who's Vice Chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, he says the United States can expect to be at war, and these are his words, for as far as the eye can see. That sounds like a permanent state of war.
Our job is to be prepared to fight and win this nation's wars. And so we have to be prepared for the possibility of conflict into the future.
It's a remarkable state of affairs, isn't it? Because the United States is not, in fact, threatened by a power that could possibly overturn it, defeat it. That's impossible. But still it goes on as if we're all drawn into, most of humanity, into a permanent state of war. For many people, that seems very difficult to justify.
Well, first of all, there are some very dangerous asymmetric threats that are out there. Terrorism, obviously, one of them. This is what we anticipate going into the future is not necessarily nation-on-nation type conflict. Okay, it is these asymmetric threats that are out there. It's the threat of weapons of mass destruction. There's another asymmetric threat is the cyber threat that exists. These are all threats that transcend geographical boundaries. You know, the United States military has to prepare for a wide range of threats that exist out there in order to protect its national interests.
Are media drums beating for another war? Say a war with Iran?
I wouldn't say that the media are beating the drums for war yet, although they are showing the same credulousness, the same obsequiousness towards the powerful as they did in advance of the Iraq War. I'm not sure it's to the point that they're beating the drums for war yet, but when the elites decide it's time to go, I would be surprised if they did anything but.
You've mentioned already Iran.
Yeah.
And there is an enormous choice to be made about Iran, a more developed, more formidable, more populous, and certainly better armed country than Saddam's Iraq, whatever it was. Are you actually saying that we should threaten them militarily if they are determined to develop nuclear weapons?
I am saying that I think it is wholly unacceptable for Iran to have nuclear weapons capability.
But what can we do about it?
And I think we've got to be prepared to confront them.
Militarily?
If necessarily
militarily?
If necessarily militarily. I think there is no alternative to that. If they continue to develop nuclear weapons, then they need to get that message loud and clear.